Well, giddy up. Take a look at this.
Whoa! I just got invited to give the commencement address at Harvard this year.
That's amazing.
I remember you did it 10 years ago when Priscilla graduated. I was there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. 30 years later than I was supposed to, but I enjoyed it.
They know we didn't actually graduate, right?
Oh, that is the best part. They actually give you a degree.
You don't even have to go to class?
No, you just put that degree on your resume and it looks great.
Can you help me figure out what I'm going to say?
Yeah, we should work on it together. Let's go get some more snacks.
All right. So you get to wear the hat and everything?
Yeah, you bet. Don't wear anything underneath.
Another guy who's got friends in all the right places. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me here over on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook or wherever you happen to be watching this. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get into talking about Mark Zuckerberg's letter to Jim Jordan, his letter to Congress. We will talk about that and about how he says outright that the Biden administration forced him to censor. I think this is major, major news. But I just played that clip, and that's from years ago now, of Bill Gates and Zuckerberg talking about a Harvard commencement speech. And they did that kind of tongue in cheek, they'll give a degree to anyone, which is true. They'll give a degree to anyone. This is why Bill Cosby is a doctor. No matter who you are, you just have to be big and famous and in the right crowd. And that just shows who he's in with. They are tight. They are friends. This kind of shows you the circles that Zuckerberg was getting involved in and who you rub elbows with. And as time goes on, as the years pass, you're not likely to defy the people you rub elbows with. You're likely to side with them until the shit basically hits the fan where you're like, you can't deny your ties anymore and you better distance yourself from some things or you're going to end up in some type of jail. Now, I found this pretty interesting, this letter that he wrote to Jim Jordan. I really like Jim Jordan, and I really enjoy watching him at those conferences. For anybody who's a normie who doesn't know who Jim Jordan is, you should just look him up on YouTube and even subscribe to Forbes channel. They do great stuff. I really enjoy watching them. And then you'll see some clips that you never see on the news. We all know now you ain't getting shit on the news. You're not getting good information. But I'll put my glasses on and read you a bit of this letter. But before we continue, if you could, what do the kids say? Smash the like button, comment, make a comment, then comment again. I'll comment. We can have a little dialogue or whatever. Like, subscribe, and share. My YouTube channel I'm trying to grow the damn thing because I kept getting kicked off of that. Every video I did, I got some sort of copyright thing or ban or violation of community guidelines. But let's talk about Facebook. Facebook has 3 billion users. I mean, this guy Zuckerberg has managed to create something somehow that has this many users. It's really quite it's a juggernaut. It's beyond a juggernaut. It's like part of your life for the majority of humans on the planet. That is major. This is what he said in his letter. I appreciate the committee's interest in content moderation on online platforms, as you are aware. I'll read just the third paragraph from this. It's so damn small, I can barely make it out. But it says here, in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our team for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down. And we own our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our endorsement in the wake of pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. With the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to the pressure from any administration. He also goes on to say that apart from content moderation, he addresses in the last paragraph contributions he made to the last presidential cycle. He meant them to be nonpartisan, even though he donated probably bags of money to them, but really he didn't believe in them. He'd do that for anybody. I think this is really Mark Zuckerberg covering his ass. I mean, it's quite evident that that is what he's doing. And maybe he's a little bit fearful for because the guy who founded Telegram is getting into a lot of trouble in France and has been jailed, and they're coming after him. And so maybe he's like, I don't want them to come after me. And he senses that a new administration is coming, and he's really in bed with the old administration, listening to what they had to say. I just want to say something about pressure. This guy is how rich? How rich is he? I can tell you, I'm not trying to toot my own horn again, but everybody was getting on my ass at Global News. Everybody, all the management, senior management, from the news director to the operations manager to guys they hired to be COVID Nazis, to the technical sort of, well, I forget what his actual title is because I don't know really what he did, but he's the guy that threw me out of the building. Everybody pressured us, who I just saw actually last week at the Skytrade, and I called him pathetic to his face. His name is Jerry. But everybody was pressuring me and bullying me. I have 2 kids and I have a mortgage and I have to pay the bills by myself, and I'm not rich, and I still stood up to them. I still stood up to the Global News Network. And I still, I don't know how crazy people are or how they're going to come after me or what things they're going to do. They've done a lot of weird things, but I still stood up to them, and I'm little old me. I don't have powerful backing. I don't have billions of dollars. So why, Mark Zuckerberg, could you not stand up to the administration when they're pressuring you on your free, so-called free, Facebook platform? You could just say, we're not censoring this information. We are free speech absolutists, and we're going to let the people say what they have to say. But no, they ended up having fucking fact checkers. And who are the fact checkers, by the way? What credentials do they have? Don't the public on a public platform or social media thing, shouldn't we know who the people are that are censoring us? And so many people were put into Facebook jail. There is a guy that I interviewed. He's injured from a certain what, and he was part of a Facebook group called A Wee Sprinkle of Hope. And he told me about this. And they had like 30,000 members all talking about all the things that they went through post what, and that got taken down. Nice. Facebook, nice. So now you're eating crow now. And what does this mean? Does this mean that in the future, Zuckerberg will free speech for everyone? I'm not sure that's what he means, because I've seen in an interview that he did that he said, Facebook, people don't want to be so political anymore. People just, the community is telling us that's not what they want. They want to just see pictures of lunches and your kids' graduation. But I have to say, on a personal note, I don't really post anything about my personal life on Facebook, and I never really have. Not that I'm against it, because lots of cute things happen in life, pictures that I enjoy of my children, my family, my pets, my relationships, but I don't really put that on Facebook because that's for me and my circle of friends. If something cute happens in my life, I might text my friend a picture, but I don't actually put all this personal information on Facebook. And I think we all should be careful that we all willingly give so much to Facebook. That's a lot of data collection. And I always sort of thought about that, but I didn't know why. It just kind of bugged me. This is from years ago. It's like, why does everyone have to see everything and hear every thought that you have? And we can follow somebody for years because people put their ultrasound pictures on Facebook, and then when this baby comes, and then we see the baby grow up and go to preschool. Like you can see somebody's whole life on Facebook. And sometimes I think maybe you should be careful with how much you're telling them or how much you're showing them. They already know everything about you, but you are willingly giving them all that information. And I think we just have to be careful about that. It's nice to share. It's great when you see people happy. It's great when people also need support and are sad. You can get a lot of support online if you're having a down day. I think all that is good, but I would just caution being a little bit careful of just revealing so much of your life and giving so much of your life to a social media platform. Okay, I want to show you my two favorites. Jim Jordan. This is a little bit older.
Can we include that the White House put pressure on us to censor the lab leak theory? That's the question Mark Zuckerberg asked in a group text with the top people at Facebook.
I will never forget. None of us will ever forget, because this still isn't even a thing people talk about. That when I brought this up in newsrooms, how I was absolutely shit on, and people were like, you're racist for saying that. And no, it didn't come from there. It didn't come from there.
That's the question he posed to Sheryl Sandberg, Nick Clegg, Joel Kaplan, the top people at Facebook on July 16th, 2021. Now, what prompted this group text? What prompted him to ask that question about the White House putting pressure on Facebook to censor the lab leak theory? Earlier that day, President Biden said Facebook is killing people.
If anyone doesn't know, this is Jim Jordan. This is the guy, the congressman that Mark Zuckerberg wrote the letter to.
That's what got him talking. That's what got him texting. That's what got him asking, can we put out this statement that the White House has been putting pressure on us to censor the lab leak theory? Ms. Sandberg responded in that text message. She said, they're scapegoating us. Mr. Zuckerberg further countered or further stated, Facebook had been combating misinformation just like the White House wanted, but now there's this coordinated attack by the White House against us. Now think about it. Facebook, Mr. Zuckerberg was saying Facebook was doing exactly what the White House wanted, but it still wasn't good enough. Now we should back up a few months. Senior White House officials, in particular the two guys testifying here today, Mr. Flaherty and Mr. Slavitt, had regular phone calls and meeting with Facebook officials. One March meeting, Mr. Flaherty said, and this is again from the internal communications we got when we subpoenaed Facebook, Mr. Flaherty said, my bias is to kick people off the platform. White House is telling a social media platform, biggest one, one of the biggest ones in the world, you should kick people off your platform if they're saying things we don't like.
That is very revealing. Kick people off your platform if they're saying things that you don't like. So what don't you like? The truth? An opposing opinion? Something that a doctor is saying that you want to dox and discredit? You don't like it, so kick people off? And to all the normies who just sort of ignored all the people banging down the door trying to tell you, hey, you need to look at another side of this story, and you might have to look at an alternative source like a BitChute, like an Odyssey, like a Rumble, and you might have to have a non-glossy kind of presentation because it's just going to be a podcaster talking to a doctor, but that's what we got, and you need to listen to what the doctor is saying. Forget about the TV lights and all that stuff. I come from all that. They have a cajillion dollars to do all that stuff. You need to look at alternative sources. But if you see this all banned on Facebook, you're going to be like, oh, well, Facebook is right. No, the world is now openly telling you they censored information. So you should be mad as hell, just like in network. So I don't know what this means for the future. I really hope that we see less censorship. I mean, I'm owned by the metaverse. I do not do well on YouTube because I'm completely castrated by what they tell me to say. And I'm constantly violating guidelines and stuff there. But I would really like to see that reverse and that turn on its head. I think we've just had enough of it now. And I hope to see these decisions reversed. One more video I want to show you. Love this guy, Senator Kennedy. Kennedy is so good. He is so theatrical that, he has Perry Mason beat. He is way more entertaining, in my opinion. This is posted 8 hours ago, but I'm just not sure what the date is that this session was actually recorded.
Mr. Zuckerberg, let me ask you a couple of questions. Might wax a little philosophical here. I have to hand it to you. You have convinced over 2 billion people to give up all of their personal information, every bit of it.
This is just what I was talking about.
In exchange for getting to see what their high school friends had for dinner Saturday night. That's pretty much your business model, isn't it?
It's not how I would characterize it. And we give people the ability to connect with the people they care about and to engage with the topics that they care about.
And you take this information, this abundance of personal information, and then you develop algorithms to punch people's hot buttons, which and send and steer to them information that punches their hot buttons again and again and again to keep them coming back and to keep them staying longer. And as a result, your users see only one side of an issue. And so, to some extent, your platform has become a killing field for the truth, hasn't it?
I mean, Senator, I disagree with that characterization.
Of course you do.
We build ranking and recommendations because people have a lot of friends and a lot of interests, and they want to make sure that they see the content that's relevant to them. We're trying to make a product that's useful to people and make our services as helpful as possible for people to connect with the people they care about and the interests they care about.
But you don't
That's what we
show
do.
them both sides. You don't give them balanced information. You just keep punching their hot buttons, punching their hot buttons. You don't show them balanced information so people can discern the truth for themselves. And you rev them up so much that so often your platform and others becomes just cesspools of snark where nobody learns anything, don't they?
Well, Senator, I disagree with that. I think people can engage in the things that they're interested in and learn quite a bit about those. We have done a handful of different experiments and things in the past around news and trying to show content on a diverse set of perspectives. I think that there's more that needs to be explored there, but I don't think that we can solve that by ourselves. One of the things that I saw.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Mr. President, but I'm going to run out of time. Do you think your users really understand what they're giving to you, all their personal information, and how you process it and how you monetize it? Do you think people really understand?
Senator, I think people understand the basic terms. I mean, I think that there's. I actually think that a lot of people
let me put it
overestimate
another
how
way.
much
It's
information
been
there
a
is that
couple of
we
years
have.
since we talked about this. Does your user agreement still suck?
I'm not sure how to answer that, Senator.
Can you
I think
still
the
hide?
basic-
Can you still hide a dead body and all that legalese where nobody can find it?
Senator, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, but I think people get the basic deal of using these services. It's a free service. You're using it to connect with the people you care about. If you share something with people, other people will be able to see your information. It's inherently, if you're putting something out there to be shared publicly or with a private set of people, it's, you're inherently putting it out there. So I think people get that basic part of how the
But Mr.
service works.
Zuckerberg, you're in the foothills of creepy. You track people who aren't even Facebook users. You track your own people, your own users who are your product, even when they're not on Facebook. I'm going to land this plane pretty quickly, Mr. Chairman. I mean, it's creepy. And I understand you make a lot of money doing it, but I just wonder if our technology is greater than our humanity.
Very revealing, but I do like the fact that Senator Kennedy is saying, you've gotten everybody to give you all this personal information so you could look up what people are doing from high school. It is like a bizarre thing. So I think it's something like we need to think about, how much we want to reveal about ourselves. Some things you just need to keep personal, I believe. And anyway, the question that I put in the banner here, what happens to Facebook jail? Time will tell. I mean, I'm shocked that people should be arrested. I mean, there should be mutiny on the bounty when you've discovered that Western democracy is not what you think it is. Like, we are living in a dystopia in the States and in Canada for sure. And it's come to England. because they are literally sending people to literal jail and sentencing them for things that they're saying on Facebook. One guy got put in jail for 20 months for sort of saying something about a hotel where migrants were staying, and so the authorities thought that that was racist to say. I mean, but sort of there's a lot of crime going on and a lot of resentment going on, and a powder keg has been building and has been building for a long time. But God forbid you express how you feel or what you're upset about, whether it's housing prices or how you feel about maybe what happened to your child, or if it doesn't sort of fit the political mold, you could go to Facebook jail, or that's what we have been experiencing. I want to see a statement where Zuckerberg says, we are totally getting rid of that. We are now free speech absolutists. You say what you want. That's what expressing yourself and these platforms are all about. It's not just about seeing what your friend in college had for lunch or whatever Bellini somebody's sipping on. You know what I mean? Okay, I just want to give a shout out to Sean Freedom. I interviewed him. You can find that interview on Rumble. And he is doing a lot of work trying to provide some if you need some help and some medical advice, he has a team of people that can help you and also get you some things that'll just help you with your health, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm still speaking in euphemisms because I don't know still what I'm allowed to say. But I urge you contact him at sales@larksmedical.com. You can check out the website, larksmedical.com, to get what you need, perhaps things that you're looking for there that should be on drugstore shelves that are very hard to find. You can always tell them that Anita sent you. And who was it? Is it Warren Buffett that just sold like billions of dollars of his stock? I mean, is there a big stock market crash coming up? There just might be. They don't sell for nothing. They got the inside information and they pack it in, they get all the money, and then they leave the public to flounder and their shares all go down. I would phone Canadian banks and say, if there's a big blackout, if there's a big, if the stock market crashes, if there's a big crash, what are you going to do for us? What things do you have in place to protect citizens, protect the people that have accounts with you? I don't know, but this is all worth an interview. I'm going to follow up on this and talk more about finances and money and stuff. But in the meantime, it's been a long time since I've talked about New World Precious Metals. I still work with them. I should do more interviews with them. I just get so behind on stuff. But if you want to invest in gold and silver, or some advice that they could possibly give you about finances, please check them out. New World Precious Metals. I'll leave a link in the box below. My website got taken down because I did something to it. I think it had to do when I was interviewing a certain son of someone, a certain son of a controversial person. I all of a sudden had a lot of shadow banning and weird stuff happen to me then. So don't go to anitakrishna.com right now because it's not up and running. But I have a link tree, which I'll put in the box below. And I have a Substack. You can find different bits about me, my Rumble channel, my articles that I write and stuff like that. It's all in the link tree because my website went kaput. And MailChimp booted me out because I don't even know what it was I said. I think it has something to do with a certain someone that talks about lizard people. Okay, so please like and subscribe and share this channel out. Share it amongst your friends if you like what you see. If I've pissed you off and you've unsubscribed, I'm sorry to see you go, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So you can always subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Anita K. Over on Rumble, my channel name is AK Straight Speaks. That's my channel name. Please subscribe or follow me over there. And my YouTube channel is Anita K. You see it ticking along on the bottom there. Anita K, capital A, capital K, no space. You can also follow me on X at Anita Krishna 1. I'll keep you up to date on things that I do over there. I so appreciate all your comments, and we will catch you next time.